Yo, what it do, family? High value basketball. We are back once again with the best basketball commentary on this side of the whole entire planet. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. You dig? Go ahead and hit that button, family. We got to talk about Dwight Howard, yo. What a sad end to a once illustrious career. So sad that this guy is essentially leaving the league, going to play in Taiwan, and no one even cares. I haven't seen any coverage. I ain't seen no other YouTube videos. I ain't seen nothing on ESPN. Nothing. I saw it on Twitter that he is signing with the team in Taiwan. It is going to be that league's highest paid player ever. So there's something good about, whatever he's doing over there. He's essentially going to work on a project to help elevate that league, give it some legitimacy, and basically be instrumental in the next phase of growing the sport of basketball in Taiwan. So it is a very interesting proposition that he has, going out to another side of the world and being a basketball ambassador, for lack of a better term. So that is cool. But we really got to talk about, man, how Dwight Howard has fizzled out to the point of complete irrelevancy, to where no one even cares that he's gone. And wow, I just got to say, I never thought this day would come, at least not like this. Because let's talk about it for a second. Dwight Howard, he's a Hall of Famer, without a doubt. We know he got left off the NBA 75 list for some odd reason. They put Anthony Davis on there, which was, as we now see in hindsight, is a very terrible decision. But Dwight Howard, he really has been getting a bad rap, essentially, for the vast majority of his career. Ever since that whole situation in Orlando where he didn't know if he wanted to stay or not, they drug him in the media like he was a villain. They drug him in the media so bad, like he just destroyed that franchise because he had issues with the coach and didn't know if he wanted to leave. A lot of players have had that before, but they really tried to rail Dwight and throw him under the bus. And then, of course, he gets to Kobe and the Lakers. Kobe throws him under the bus because, Dwight is essentially not a tough guy. He's a happy person, and that doesn't bode well in Kobeville, apparently. And, he got called soft and all of those things. But to give Dwight Howard credit, I still give that man credit. That dude played on a surgically repaired back that he had not fully recovered from. The fact that he could play basically the whole season on that thing is strong enough, especially considering the players that we got now who sit out over everything. That dude played through the whole season on a terribly bad back and didn't get no credit for it. Then, of course, he moves over to Houston. He has a pretty decent run with James Harden, but they get him up out of there because that's when it officially was acknowledged that he was basically a weirdo. Don't want to go too deep into that direction because I don't like all of that gossipy stuff, man. But it was acknowledged that Dwight Howard essentially was not the coolest individual to be around. He kind of freaked people out a little bit with his antics because he had an odd personality. And from there, that's when it essentially was completely downhill from him. His star status disappeared. He was no longer, a top tier free agent. And all the things that he accumulated up to that point were essentially a wash because it's always been this nobody cares about the white kind of thing. I mean, the dude gave us the Superman dunk, or the invention of the throw-in dunk in the dunk contest. We have that epic imagery. What else? Of course, he got into it with Shaq plenty of times. He didn't do himself any favors, calling himself Superman while being in Orlando, while Shaq was in Orlando and called himself Superman. So that was a cornball move. Got to give him that. He did take on the name D12 and should have just rolled with that as opposed to the Superman thing, because that caused a whole lot of bad press essentially against him because Shaq would just never let that die. But what else? He's got Hall of Fame stats, man. The dude was a revelation. I mean, it was crazy how athletic and how fast and how defensively relevant he was. Y'all, we look at Giannis now and say Giannis is doing things that we've never seen. That was Dwight on the defensive end of the court. And when he was playing, he was insane on that side of the ball. So much so that his defensive presence and of course his offense, but primarily his bombastic defensive presence, it helped propel the Orlando Magic to their second finals appearance and helped them get their only finals win in franchise history, man. And that was off of his ridiculously giant shoulders. And yeah, man, so we got to give Dwight his flowers, man. The dude he's an 8-time All-Star, 8 times All-NBA. He's a 5-time rebounding champion. He's a 2-time block champion. He's a 2004-2005 All-Rookie team, 5 times All-Defense. He was the DPOY 3 times, Defensive Player of the Year 3 times. And yes, he won a championship, albeit the bubble. He still was instrumental in helping that Lakers squad win. So he's got all of that, but in spite of all of that, he just went into second tier, third tier relevancy because he then went off to Atlanta and didn't do anything there. And then what? He went off to the Hornets of all places. It's like, what is going on? Went up to the Hornets, didn't do anything there. And then, of course, he revitalized himself in LA after being in the doldrums. I'm sorry, he went to the Wizards too. Yeah, he went to the Wizards as well. And then off to LA. And in LA, he did revitalize himself. And for whatever odd reason, he finds himself off the team. But we know that whole LA situation with Le GM was a little weird and spooky. But we do know that he wasn't on the team and he did not do himself any favors because it was a little bit of his keeping up his old habits. Because a part of how he was phased out, he did not want to adjust to modern NBA. Even though he's ridiculously athletic and great hands and very capable, he never wanted to transition into being a pick and roll threat. He didn't want to become that Clint Capella style of player or the Kevon Looney style of player, even though that's the direction that the league was going in. Because he did want to be the focal point of an offense, things of that nature, that did help end his career faster than what it should have. But it's really just sad to see how he got booted out of LA for some odd, mysterious reason, even though they won a chip. He goes over to Philadelphia, doesn't do anything, and essentially he fades to black. And he fades to black to the point to where no one has even noticed, commented, or cared. So, man, hey, gotta give a shout out to Dwight, man, because Dwight Howard, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a legitimate top 75 player, even though he's not on the list. And he has given us plenty of great NBA memories for being the other Superman. So, hey, have fun out in Taiwan, bro. But hey, man, this is where we are. High value basketball. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Peace.